Hello, welcome to Fig Tree Christian. I'm Pastor Melissa, and I am so glad that you are here today. Today is a big day because, first of all, it is the Sunday before Ash Wednesday. You all know Ash Wednesday, whether you realize it or not. If you know of Mardi Gras, which happens on the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday, you technically do know of Ash Wednesday. Mardi Gras, or Fat Tuesday, is where you use up the fat in your larder and your yeast, because traditionally in the Catholic tradition, you fast during Lent. So Mardi Gras is a big celebration leading up to a lot of giving up for 40 straight days leading up to Easter, minus Sundays. More on that later. First, I want to tell you about something Facebook is doing and how it affects moi and us. So Facebook has sent me a message, and probably sent all creators a message, that says in June, any post made after February 13th or 18th, somewhere around that time, will only be available for 30 days. Then it will be deleted. Fine. But all posts before that date have until June for the creator, to do something to it, or it too will be deleted. It will be gone. And Fig Tree has, I don't know if you realize this, but we have been live casting since May of 2014. I did not know that I had given so much time to this, but I have. And I found it out yesterday when I was looking through the post, because I wanted to write about when this started. And I was shocked. I was shocked that it kept going. I thought it was 2016 or maybe 2018. I did not think that I'd been doing this since 2014. Oh my word, what a long time. But that's a lot of information that is going to be lost forever if I don't upload it. And it just feels like it's important. It's part of the journey. So I'll figure that part out. That's nothing for you to worry about. I'll upload a couple of videos every day for a while, or every week, and I'll end up having it in some form. However, I don't want there to be a loss of this medium. I want what I'm going to say to be able to be found. Therefore, what I am giving up for Lent, or taking on for Lent, is every time that I post live here, I am also going to upload to YouTube. That's a big deal because, first of all, this medium, come on, this is not a YouTube medium at all. This is a Facebook medium. I have it set up in that way. I'll probably be tweaking some things over the coming weeks. In the coming weeks, there's also going to be days that I'm not going to be doing this because Scout season's really started up. Like next week, I won't be here because on Sunday, I will be doing a big Scout challenge, and then I'll be selling camp cards. And that's just the way it is with being in Scouts. But I will, if you follow me on YouTube and you want to be involved in that, you will see when that gets uploaded, and you can watch these there. Just for those who are now watching this on YouTube for the first time, and you're like, who is this person? How in the world, why is she doing this? I am an ordained minister. I was ordained on February 14th, 2010. So I have been doing this for 15 years, the ministry. Well, I've been doing ministry for a while. I started when I was in high school, when the camp closed, the summer camp closed, and I put on concerts, Christian concerts, to earn money to open my regional camp again. And I've been a youth leader. I've been a senior minister at a church. I've been a choir director. I've done quite a few things when it comes to ministry. And I've done a whole lot of things when it comes to Fig Tree Christian. I've gathered authors together so we could do a devotional that would be for people outside the church, even though it was also for those inside the church. It was put on PDF, and actually there was apps made for it. And so you could download the app and then click on the day, and read the devotional, and I did all the art for it. I did this art right here. I've done tons of art, 2D and 3D. I invented an Advent box and I put it on Kickstarter and it was funded. I have done a lot. And every time I try to tell everybody what I'm doing, I always forget something. I've written books. If you are watching this on YouTube, you'll notice that there is a audiobook there, and it is Cal's Inferno. I just finished it. It's releasing starting this Wednesday. How crazy is that? Okay, so that's a little bit about me. I try to find God outside the organized church, and I think I've succeeded so far, and we'll see where this goes. I want to talk also about Lent. I always do this the Sunday before Lent because I think there's quite a few people who don't really have a good understanding of it. And I have a very good understanding of the Protestant version of it. I want to make that clear. I am not Catholic. I am not Lutheran. I am very much so Protestant. I was born in the Christian Church Disciples of Christ, dedicated and baptized in that church. And I am now non-denominational, but I am still very Protestant. So I want to talk about what Lent is and how we can engage it this season. So there's a thing called the Christian calendar, and the Christian calendar follows a yearly cycle, and it is separated into 3 years because there's also the Revised Common Lectionary. The Revised Common Lectionary is where the Bible is split up over the course of 3 years. So you get a basic idea of the entire Bible, Hebrew Bible and New Testament, over the course of a 3-year journey. So year A, I believe, is Matthew, year B is Luke, and year C is John, and also some other scriptures, because John's kind of hard when it comes to things like the Advent or the birth of Jesus, which doesn't have stories about that in it. So over the course of 3 years, you follow the Christian calendar 3 times. And the Christian calendar itself is set up so that there are green times, which are ordinary times. It's a time you're supposed to be learning and growing like grass, and that's most of the year. And then there's white times. White times are Easter and Christmas, big holidays in the Christian calendar where we're celebrating something wondrous about God. And then there's the purple or blue times, and that's the preparation for those white times. That would be Advent, which always begins differently. The first Sunday of Advent is always the 4th Sunday before Christmas and follows where you light a candle each week. But we're not talking about Advent. We're going to talk about the other blue-purple time, which is Lent. Lent is the 40 days leading up to Easter minus Sundays. The reason that we don't follow Lent on Sundays has to do with the creation narrative, where God created over 6 days and rested on the 7th. Now, some people mention that Jesus rose on Easter. So, but technically the Sabbath is Saturday. That's why Jesus didn't rise on Saturday, because in death, Jesus was resting. I'm getting off on a tangent. The point is that 40 days, minus Sundays, we prepare for Easter. Now, over the course of many, many years, we have come to do something pithy in the Lent time. I remember when I was a kid in the children's moment, and just so you know, the children's moment is where all the children are brought up front and someone does a little mini sermon for them in front of the entire congregation, and then the children go off to the nursery to have fun for the remainder of the worship. It's a way to include them without asking too much of them, if that makes sense, and gets them in the worship area, at least for a little bit. I like it and dislike it for various reasons. During that children's moment, when I was little, we were all given a beautiful piece of chocolate. It was wrapped in aluminum foil, and it was handed to us. I'd never heard of Lent before this. And then the lady up front said, "Now don't eat it for 40 days." She didn't say it quite like that, but here was this little girl holding this piece of chocolate and being told not to consume it. And I remember that piece of chocolate so well. It had crunchies at the bottom, and it was a colorful little present on the aluminum foil. And she told me, or told the entire group of little kids, that we were to give something up for Lent. So give up this chocolate that she is just handing to us. Now, in my brain, it was only this one piece of chocolate. It wasn't all chocolate. It wasn't like I had to sacrifice what was just given to me for 40 days. Now, I ate that chocolate the next week. My sacrifice lasted 3 or 4 days, and then it was like, what am I doing? And I ate that piece of chocolate. It did not last long. It was not, my little elementary brain could not stand waiting to eat that chocolate. And she said something about Christ being like the chocolate that we have to wait for. But I have grown to realize that I dislike that message. As a minister, as somebody who's gone through a very expensive education, I can tell you right now that my thoughts on Lent have altered drastically from let's just give something up during that time. Let's just have a small sacrifice. Because I've done things during Lent, and really the ones that have been the most meaningful for me are the ones that have carried through past Easter. For example, I don't know, about 10, 11 years ago, somewhere around there, I decided I was going to give up sugary beverages for Lent. Yes, very similar to the chocolate, only sugary beverages. And I found that when I started doing that it was a lifestyle change that was changing me for the good. So even today, although I do sometimes drink sugary beverages, I tend to not do so for the most part. When I order drinks at a restaurant, I'll get water. When I drink something at lunch, it might be unsweet tea or, water. And I am the better for it. I ended up losing weight during that time. It was one of the easiest weight losses I've ever done, just giving up sugary beverages, because I didn't realize how much sugar I was putting into my body on a daily basis. Every time I would eat, I would have something with sugar in it. So I found that was incredibly helpful for the long term. When it comes to Lent, maybe we are giving something up. But Lent is about preparing, not about just sacrifice. It's about preparing for the risen Christ. When we are preparing for the risen Christ, it's like packing for a journey. I think that the themes of Advent actually fits incredibly well also into Lent. The 4 themes of Advent, for a reminder, is hope, peace, joy, and love. Hope takes on 2 different words, hope and prepare. The scripture for the first week of Advent is almost always, prepare the way of the Lord, make his path straight. We are hoping for a risen Christ at the end of Easter. And because we are hoping for something so unbelievably joyous and loving and grand, we need to prepare for what we're expecting. So what we give up or actually take on during Lent is a sign of what we are preparing for. Now, if we're preparing for an asteroid to hit us and wipe us out, our actions are going to be way different than if we're preparing to bring something real and rational and loving and caring to the world. There are things in this world we cannot change, and there are things that we can change. We are preparing for the things we can change. We can be more loving. We can be the hands and feet of Christ. We can bring something back to life. That is what we are preparing for. So what I want you to do this Lent coming this Wednesday is leading up to that choice. I want you to think, what am I preparing for? What am I getting ready to witness, to be part of, to explore? What does the future hold for us as a group of people united by Christ? Then pick something that helps you prepare for it. That might be something you give up, or that might be something you put on. For me, I am putting on. I am going to download this video. Actually, I don't have to download it because I use OBS. And there's this nice little feature on here that says I can record while I'm streaming. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So it actually makes it much easier for me as a broadcaster to be able to share on YouTube. But it does add steps, and I begin to plan for what's ahead. In June, everything fig tree related will be wiped out on Facebook. So what am I preparing for? I'm preparing for something to exist, for something to persist, to be a voice in the wilderness, which is what fig tree has always been and always will be. So keep that in mind. What are you preparing for? And as I've been saying for weeks, Cal's Inferno goes live on Wednesday. Not appropriate for kids. I'm going to say that right now. I have some of those. I have marked them all for not kids, and I've marked some of them for 18 and up because Dante gets really, really gruesome, and I'm following his path. And yeah, Cal's Inferno gets really dark. But it asks the question, where is God's love, even in hell? And I think we need that today. I think we need that now. I hope that you pick something that really captures your spirit, that really guides you towards Christ. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Go in peace.